Hello and welcome, guys. This is the first episode of Around the Scene, presented to you by Playing with Rockets. I'm one of your hosts, PWR Ryan, and joining me today is the master, T.O. himself, Eldino. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you? Excited to finally get this going.
I'm doing well. You feeling good about this? This is the first time that we've had you on anything.
Yeah, I'm feeling fine. We did have me cast once back in the league days.
Did we?
We did, but since switching to tournaments, this is the first time I've been on.
Huh, I can't remember having you on to cast for a tournament. I'll have to go back and listen to all my archived stuff now for that. Guys, if you didn't know, this is Around the Scene. This is our pilot episode for the podcast. We're going to be talking about everything Rocket League related for you guys. If you like this, please give us a follow or your Amazon Prime here on Twitch, or consider kicking us a buck over on patreon.com/playingwithrockets. Enjoy hanging out with us here. We are going to be ignoring chat, though, because we want to make a polished podcast. All of the whole recording is going to go up on SoundCloud and YouTube afterwards. We don't want to mess those people up. So, chat, we love you, but we are going to be ignoring you a bit there. And so, I mean, we've really got like a loaded episode here for all of you guys. So I think we should just jump right into it. Our first segment is going to be all things Rocket League news. And we've got a whopping 10 items for all of you guys. So we're just going to kind of go right into it. The very first piece of news is Spacestation Gaming re-enters the Rocket League scene by picking up Bread. That roster consisting of Sathu, Sipical, and AXB. What are your thoughts?
I'm not too sure that I'm happy that they're back, because I mean they've bounced a lot around with their rosters.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that I saw like that post about them too on the RL Esports subreddit talking about that a little bit. I mean, they kind of bounced around, but I saw that post, but at the same time I was like, I think some of it's also justified to an extent.
Yeah, I guess to an extent. I mean, I understand them dropping the Overzero Espion roster because they didn't make plans, or well, they didn't make it through plans.
Yeah.
And then ditching the Radiance roster the season after. I'm not too sure that was the right call.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm excited because it's more orgs in the scene, and ultimately like that makes me happy personally. So I don't know if I care too much about like whatever their past particularly is. I mean, they kind of came out. Like they haven't done anything bad though, as we're going to talk about later.
Yeah, there are definitely worse orgs out there.
So I mean, I'm pretty happy to see them coming back in. Other org news. We got a couple of org news first that we're going to get through before we get to like the really meaty stuff for you guys at home. But the next one is FC Barcelona picks up Team Savage, consisting of Bluey, Devo, and Alpha 54. That one's huge.
Oh my god, I am so happy about this. It's fantastic for the Rocket League scene, and there's genuinely not a better team out there that I think deserve to pick up like Barcelona.
Yeah.
Besides this team.
I mean, FC Barcelona, they're huge, man. I think I looked at their Twitter a little bit beforehand. They've got something like 27 million followers.
Oh
like, God. They're gigantic. They're huge.
Ridiculous.
And so, I mean, like, they got money, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
For those of you who missed the RLCS broadcast, it was really tough to tell what team Bluey was a part of when they did the interview with him.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody caught that. It was really tough to tell. Most people, they wear like a t-shirt or like a hoodie, so you kind of know. Bluey didn't make it that easy.
That was beyond ridiculous.
No, for those of you who did miss it though, he had a full-on flag in the background with a full-on FC Barcelona flag, like an esports gaming chair next to him. He had on the like jacket, and then there was like something else too that he had. Like, it was if you didn't know better, you'd think he was like a fanboy for FC Barcelona.
It was ridiculous. I mean, I get he's at the Barcelona house in Spain, but
yeah,
They decked that out.
They really did, man. I was like, Jesus, like Bluey's all in on this. But I mean, I'm proud of them for that. I'm really happy for them. Like, that's a huge pickup. And I looked it up too. In FC Barcelona, they're only in one other game. This is their second esports team. The only other game is Pro Evolution Soccer, which I didn't know was still a thing.
Yeah.
I thought FIFA just overshadowed it, and it never came back again.
FIFA does overshadow it.
Yeah, I can't. I don't understand how you could have a team for this though if it's so overshadowed.
Yeah.
Why don't you take us into the next piece of news though?
Next up, we have Ghost Gaming officially picking up Allushin and unofficially dropping Zanejacky from the roster. How do you feel about that?
That one's interesting. I think the most interesting part of that to me is the fact that he didn't, like, they never came out and officially were like, oh, Zanejacky's gone. Like, I had to kind of poke around and look, and I saw that people making the same conjectures as well, like Zanejacky's off the team. And I thought that was, like, weird to just do it so quietly like that. But also the fact that they waited so long to announce Allushin joining. Like, they announced it literally the week leading up to league play.
I think it was mainly because they didn't plan on staying in Rocket League.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Big reason.
Yeah, they have, like, the team on, like, what is it, like, free agent hold or something like that?
I think.
They have them on like some weird suspension thing. Not suspension. That's not the right way of saying it. I may have to look that up on Lethamir's Twitter account, or maybe you can pull that up. But yeah, Ghost Gaming. Yeah, that one was interesting. It's also interesting though that they would assume that they might be considering still leaving, considering they just got in on the org items.
I doubt they would do it now. I think
You think?
It was.
You think they'd go back on what they were saying about having them on like free agent hold
I think
or whatever?
they're planning to stay now. I mean, we won't know until we actually see the shop and how profitable it is. But
yeah, I mean, we're also not going to know till the end of RLCS probably too. Like, if Ghost drops to bottom 2, which it's kind of looking likely after those 2 losses they took, it's looking like it's pretty possible. You think it's not?
I disagree with you there.
Really? Okay. We'll talk more about that later.
Yeah, we will.
We can discuss that a bit more. Next bit of info. This one is the one we really wanted to talk about. I'll let you do the honors of announcing this one.
Okay, so the Pittsburg Embers pick up the Defiant squad from RLRS and just for
the people who don't know, why don't you explain?
Ryan, the old owner of Fibion, rebranded the org as the Pittsburg Embers. And for those that are aware of what happened with Fibion, they didn't pay their players at all throughout their entire contract when they were in RLRS.
Yeah, whenever you told me that part of it, I was actually like really shocked. I was like, oh, like Defiant, I assume, knew this, and I hope this isn't something that comes back and bites them in the butt. But I don't know. I'm a little worried for them on that because they're not very, like, them and Mocket are two that are pretty unloved, especially among the esports fans for Rocket League. Fibion and Mocket are among like 2 of the most disliked orgs in all of Rocket League. Like, we've made memes about these people. We hate them so much. Top dollar, you do not love Mocket. I need to hide chat.
Beyond it just being the old owner of Fibion, they literally have stock photos up as their management on their
I
website.
saw that too. If you guys haven't already, go over to the RL Esports subreddit and do sort by new. And it's one of the posts that you'll be able to see saying, like, Pittsburg Ember pick up Defiant. And you can just go through the comments. People have, like, scoured their website and found out that, like, the admin pictures are, like, stock photos. Like, it's really sketchy. And it makes me really worried for Defiant because they fought so hard to get through to RLRS and to, like, end up with, to, like, take your options off the table by joining this group. if they don't get paid, like that's just going to be like the ultimate kick to the nuts.
It really will.
And so I mean, I hope that they'll be okay. But that's like a bit scary to like think about Fibion, or like I'm scared to think of Fibion coming back in the scene. I'd be just as scared to think of like Mocket coming back in the scene. But granted, like Fibion is going to be pretty like the Pittsburg Embers. They're going to be pretty like ostracized, I think, just by their past with the community. So I don't see that going well for them. But we're gonna hop on into the next piece of news. This is one of the meatier parts to this today's episode. We'll be talking about this. We're gonna unpack this one a bit more than we undid those other ones just now. But the RL Esports Shop has been announced, along with Rocket Pass 3, and in the next coming update with the RL Esports Shop, they will also be bringing replay effects, which will be helping content creators such as like Sunless Khan and Sekai and other groups who will be kind of putting out some of that content. It's going to make their lives a hell of a lot easier. So where do you want to start in this? What part of this do you want to touch on first?
Let's start
it's a big one where you have to take a bunch of small bites.
Yeah. Let's start with the Esports Shop.
Okay. So, Esports Shop coming in. The key parts, the main points to it, the teams that are going to be a part of this are, you can look up to see like kind of the graphic on it, but I'm just going to list them out real quick. We have Cloud9, Dignitas, Evil Geniuses, G2, Ghost, Mouse Esports, NRG, Rogue, Splice, TSM, Vitality. It's easy to look, like kind of think like, oh, that's a lot of names. The ones that you should know that are missing, though, are going to be Barcelona, PSG, and Spacestation Gaming. Those three are the orgs that are going to be missing, but we're also having Triple Trouble and the Bricks missing as well because, of course, they don't have an org with them. And I assume that part of Psyonix's plan was like, we're not going to deal with the players, we're going to deal with an org. Because it would almost be more profitable probably for players to not be with an org and to just take cuts of the money from Psyonix. 30% is a pretty good chunk, especially when you consider how many people are going to buy these items. So, I mean, and then with that also, I mean, the Bricks and Triple Trouble still without teams. You and me already kind of talked about it, but I'm betting that by the end of the season, they're both going to have teams now.
I'd be surprised if they go past week 3 without orgs.
Yeah.
I think if it reaches week 4 and they still aren't having orgs, I'm going to be a little worried. Because then it might an org might wait until playoffs to see if they make LAN.
Mm-hmm.
Which is calling it a bit close, but...
Yeah. One of the things that you and me were talking about, too, though, is the Barcelona and PSG thing. Part of why it's... Some of the conjecture I saw in the Reddit post was like, oh, because they're a part of FIFA and Pro Evolution Soccer, their stuff there might be like an exclusivity clause within their contracts to those, which keeps them from being in Rocket League. So that's like an interesting thing because like they are soccer teams and like they are in other games, just not in the same way.
Yeah, I think I understand Barcelona because even if it wasn't an issue with it just being a new roster, PSG's been a team or been an org in the scene for 3 seasons now.
Yeah,
it's a bit worrying, I think, because if FIFA and PES are holding out on any exclusivity contracts, then orgs with contracts might be less inclined to join the scene if they're not going to be able to get in that shop.
See, that's interesting because I never really thought about that. But I mean, I get like FC Barcelona's just got money to throw around too.
Yeah, that is true.
And PSG, I imagine, probably has quite a bit too, just because like they are soccer clubs first and an esports organization second.
Yeah.
But I think that is interesting. That's an interesting way to like kind of look at it through that lens. I I'm not entirely sure. I think that, like, I mean, they got into this not expecting to have org items in the first place, it seems. So,
Well,
I mean,
PSG did.
PSG.
We don't know about Barca. We don't know about
Barcelona, yeah, they probably got into the scene like assuming like, oh, org items just aren't going to be a thing. We don't care. We just want this team. We want to be a part of this. And then Spacestation, they just wanted to be in the RLCS.
Yeah.
I mean, their whole advertisement was like the fact that it's their first RLCS team. So like they really are just happy to be in this. So that's interesting. And then a couple more things to just kind of unload the rest of the RLC Esports update for you guys real quick. Each team will have 2 decals, 1 Octane and 1 for Dominus. They will all get 1 banner, and they will all get multiple wheels. The Esports Shop will appear in the main menu under Shop. There will be 6 this is like the most interesting part, I thought, was there's going to be 6 items per day, and they'll refresh at 7 p.m. UTC. I don't know what time zone that is. You'll have to look that up yourselves. They'll refresh at 7 p.m. UTC, and that's some items will stay for 48 hours. The way that you'll be able to purchase these will be some new currency called Esports tokens, similar to Overwatch. 99 cents is how much it's going to take to get you 100 tokens, which is the minimum price for 1 item. 30% of the revenue will go to orgs, an extra portion will go towards prize pools, and then OCE and SAM will be included in future seasons.
7 p.m. UTC is 3 p.m. Eastern, by the way.
Oh, okay. I don't know why they didn't just put that then.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, well. Okay, so the shifting shop, they do that like in Fortnite. And one of the comments that I saw talking about it was like it's that fear of missing out on an item. I can tell you right now, I'm probably gonna try and get all the items, regardless.
I'm definitely not. I'm probably just gonna stick to my energy and maybe Spacestation.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Well, because I mean, I have Alpha Console. If I really want something, I can just
that's true.
throw it on there.
I mean, I'm probably just gonna get all the items. I've been so excited for this to come out, so I'm probably gonna get a lot of them.
Fair enough.
But my other, like, this is something we were also talking about too beforehand, was the thing of like, okay, RLRS isn't included in this, and like that was something that you and me both got upset about because it was like, oh, like I wanted to rock an upper 90 decal, you wanted to rock an RBG decal. And it's like, nope, that's not a thing now. And I thought at first it would be just kind of like, oh, they might be doing it later on. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't look like they are.
I mean, it's hard to say right now because we really don't know any of the details. Yeah. But I'd suspect they do say that it's the pilot program, which makes me have a little bit of hope.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll expand it outward more. I mean, because I would love to be able to go get, like, even a Chiefs decal or something. Like, I would like to be able... I have no idea, like... I looked very minimally at the SAM teams. I mean, some of them look pretty cool, though. I'd want to get one of those decals. I'm like, I don't even care if I know the team. Like, if the icon looks cool as hell or it's, like, cool colors, like, I'll probably try to get it.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'm a simple man. You give me something shiny, and I want that.
I'm glad that they didn't cop out and go with antennas. I will say that. I was expecting antennas.
Oh, man. I saw a satire post talking about, like, oh, like, we're going to revolutionize with antennas and stuff. Like, it was like a mock of, like, a Psionics announcement and stuff. Like, they had gotten, like, interviews and stuff. Oh, my God. Like, I was reading it, and I was like, this is satire, but I can totally see half of it being true. I got so scared. I was like, please, for the love of God, do not let any of this be true. I was like, if they don't do decals, I'm going to be so upset. And I mean, I'm glad they're doing decals, even if it is just for the Octane and Dominus. Yeah. Enough people use those that's like, I mean, I've been playing with a McLaren lately. I was going to switch over regardless anyway, as long as they did decals. So, I mean, I'll probably just hop over to Dominus next. But that was one of the things for me. I was like, ugh. But the other thing, too, is, like, how often are they going to update the shop, you think? Like, with new teams and stuff. So, like, Spacestation Gaming, like, obviously there's not the possibility of them being under some FIFA deal or Pro Evolution Soccer deal. So it's like at what point could we possibly expect to even see them coming in? Do we have to wait till the end of the season, till the start of next season? Like,
I would suspect we won't see them in the shop until the end of the season.
You think? You think it's going to take that long?
I'm assuming they'll add in the second set of teams after the pilot.
Yeah.
Once teams like Triple Trouble and the Bricks get picked up. That's my thinking, at least. I could be wrong, and they'll just update it a week after it comes out and they add Spacestation.
I mean, that'd be cool if they did it that quickly. I'd be stoked about that.
But I don't trust Psionics to do that.
Psionics doesn't do anything fast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm inclined to think that it's just going to be at the start of each season, they'll update it. But it then begs the question of how would they go about, I guess for the SAM teams and stuff, they already have teams that qualify, right? They already have 8 teams or 4 teams that are their RLCS league play or something.
I have no idea. I haven't been following South America at all, or OCE. Those are well out of my range of expertise.
We'll come back next week with more info on SAM. I don't think anybody knows anything about what's going on with them as far as just they have league play going right now. I think I saw later on, the day of the RLCS league play for the first week, hey, it's 6 o'clock now and Sam's playing. Who knew?
I think Sam played while EU was playing. I could be wrong on that, but I think they played while... Oh, wait, it might have been the CRL stream that was going instead. But I know...
Yeah, no, it was Saturday or Sunday that they just had a packed day of Rocket League. It was they had EU League play, they then had CRL, and then Sam was on.
All I know is
I think I saw Sam playing on Sunday.
Sam doesn't get streamed by the Rocket League channel.
They don't get streamed by the Rocket League channel, but whatchamacallit, Rocket Street does the stream because Rocket Street's the one in charge for the Sam region. Rocket League's not, or Psionics isn't in Sam doing anything with them.
There's about 4 different channels streaming it, each their own different language. I know there's one NAOR.
Well, I mean, there are gonna be a lot of English viewers who want to watch it and see what's going on, but I mean, I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna understand any Spanish casting. I got only a little bit of Spanish from when I played soccer, and it's not good. I got Earthquake because we had a dude who's kind of big on the team, so Terremoto. And then beyond that, it's just pass the ball. Aside from pasa la pelota, I ain't got much for you.
Somebody's got to use the name Earthquake now in South America. It's got to happen.
I would be so happy if I inspired a name. Looking at the next scrub killer of Sam.
Oh God. No.
So what are some of your thoughts on this whole esports shop thing? I mean, it's finally here. It took them forever to get it out, but we finally have it. Just throw your thoughts out there. What are you thinking on this?
I'm happy it's here, but it still hurts because there's orgs like Flipside that just left the scene that were asking for this for however many seasons.
Rest in peace, Flipside. Damn. That was one of the biggest things to me. I was you're just now bringing this on, and Flipside was just we've kind of had enough now of this. We're not waiting any longer. Oh, by the way, you're leaving now. Hey, we're doing this. It's they were waiting, once Flipside gets out, then we'll do it.
I want to know if it was intentional.
Man, I almost wonder, but I feel they've been talking, I know Flipside, the owner, was in talks with Psionics for a long time about this, and it wasn't just him, it was the other orgs too.
I know, I feel Flipside was the one that was really trying to get Psionics to do it, because it benefits everyone.
Yeah, well, and that was the thing too, is, the guy who was the owner, he was holding Psionics' feet to the fire constantly. Everywhere he went, he was talking about it, and it just still wasn't happening. And it was just fine, you guys clearly don't want to do this, we're just done. So, I mean, I don't know, but I mean that sucks. It sucks to see the like one of the longest running teams ditch, and then they finally give them what they'd been asking for the whole time. Just like, really? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I think Psyonix is doing a lot of stuff right now, but I think the problem is Psyonix does a lot of things right, but they do it too slowly. It feels like they're big kids now. Like, I understood when you were small, like you didn't have much revenue sources and stuff. You wanted to kind of like take it easy, but it's like, okay, you're in the big leagues now. Like, you make some good money off of this game, between crates and everything else. Like, why are you still in this mindset of let's take these baby steps through everything? Like, I mean, because to me, this system shouldn't have been that hard for them to come up with. It's in other games. And they're like, we have to come up with a brand new system for the RL Esports org items. And it's like, you're copying Fortnite. Is that the system? Are you kidding me? Like, that's what you spent all this time thinking of. Was, Fortnite's doing that. Let's do that too. And I don't know. I just think it was like over a year it took them to come up with this, and it's just like, really? This doesn't feel like something that should have taken you over a year to do.
I don't necessarily mind it taking that long. I just wish they were more open communicating with the orgs about it.
Yeah, I guess like really that's my main issue, is just like they were so coy about it. Of just like, oh, we might be doing it soon, we might not. Who knows? And it's like, you just come out and tell us. Like, are you doing this or not? Are you, like, I don't understand. Like, is it just, are these other people the hold up? Like, what's going on? So I mean, I'm happy that it's here though.
Yeah.
So good enough on that. Is there anything else you want to like kind of run through on that before we hop over to the next part? Or do we want to go over that comment that you showed me?
Why not? Sure.
Okay. I'll let you run through it for us.
Okay. So I don't know if any of you know him, but Raw Greg, who is a bubble player, responded to a Dazarin tweet earlier, and he gave out what his ideal percentage breakdown would be for the revenue from the Esports Shop. He said, what if you gave 30% to the org like specified, but then 10% to the RLCS players without orgs as a bonus, and then 50% to Psyonix, and 10% to the small orgs hosting tournaments to grow the bubble scene organically. This is just a rough example, but I'm thinking out loud.
I like the idea. And I told you already, but I don't think the 10% to RLCS players without orgs was a good idea.
I agree with that. I think that could go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think that type of deal could go awry pretty fast.
Yeah.
I would like, as I was telling you, I would like if they did it though to where it was like, okay, you're in the pro scene, you don't have a team right now. For being in the pro scene, you get X amount of dollars from us. And it can just be Psyonix goes and talks to these other orgs and says like, hey, what are you guys all paying these people? And just gets an idea of like what their general payment is to their Rocket League players. And then Psyonix can come out and be like, hey, we'll give you this is just a rough number. I don't know what the heck these people get paid, but $2,000 a month as you being here in the RLCS.
I can tell you they get paid more than that.
I know they get paid more. I'm just like throwing out a number is all. It's just like, because if you do it 10% to RLCS players,
is going to be way too much.
That's a lot of money. People are going to be spending, like throwing money hand over fist at this.
You can't put a percentage on it. You really can't.
You can't. I think if you did that, it'd have to just be a specified amount saying like, hey, the bricks, Triple Trouble, you guys get this amount of money because you're in the pro scene. The second you get an org, we stop paying you and it's on them.
Yeah, I agree there.
And it's just like, because you're in the pro scene and you're providing this high level gameplay for us to broadcast week in and week out, we'll do that. And I'd be like, I think that would be kind of fair. But again, I know Psyonix wants to kind of stay away from teams and stuff. They're very anti like org, it seems.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's really good for the scene. I feel like
Yeah, I don't know what they're. I don't know why they have that stance on it. If like someone coming from another scene knows more than I do on this, but it just seems like that's kind of like silly. It just seems silly to me. But I mean, all in all, I like that idea for the most part. I mean, what are you thinking on it?
I like it for the most part. I feel like 10% of small orgs hosting tournaments would be fantastic. That's not going to happen, sadly.
Dude, if they supported groups like us, RBG, Frontline Gaming, Nexus, Boost Legacy, that would be amazing.
That'd be fantastic, but
like that would be awesome.
Won't happen.
I mean, it won't. It definitely won't.
It won't.
Be cool though. If they just said like, "Hey, here's $200 a month,"
like, that would be great.
I'd take $200 a month, man.
That's literally what we're.
You can put this. You can put this towards your prize pools. I'd be like, "Give me the money." Yep. Anything else you want me to do? Is there a way that I can earn more? Do I need to like do something different to like make my stuff better so it's like higher quality content for the bubble scene to make $500 a month? Like, I'll do it.
Okay, it's $200 a month, but you have to put out 5 Bubba Burgers ads on every stream.
Oh, okay. See, that's where we draw the line. Moving on to the next part. We also have, if you guys didn't see the announcement on LAN Jersey, like where it's being hosted, they had a piece of information kind of hidden in there saying that there will be a new LAN structure for the Rocket League Championship this year. So, quote, "For the first time in RLCS World Championship history, we will be moving away from the previous double elimination bracket for a brand new group stage to single elimination format instead. This new format will include 12 teams from around the globe, including the RLCS debut from South America, which leaves us expecting 3 of the best days of professional Rocket League of all time," end quote. RLCS will be held in New Jersey, June 21st to 23rd this year, guys. And tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So, what are you thinking? So they're going into this group format to single elim, going away from just the whole double elim bracket.
I'm not too sure. It depends on how they do groups. What I'm thinking is going to happen, and I kind of hate it, is they're going to do what we planned on doing for our end of year tournament, and that's just steal from DreamHack their format. So I'm not too happy about that. But
I do like the format though, because one of the stats that people always seem to bring up about RLCS is the fact of like, I think it was like 5 out of the 6 RLCS, or like 4 out of the 6 lower bracket run teams ended up winning.
Yeah, which is just ridiculous.
Which is just like by the formula, like that isn't how it should go if you're a tournament organizer. Like that's not what you want. Okay, it was 4 of the 6. I had to double check. But it's just this thing of like, now I think it's going to show, okay, which team is truly deserving of being up here. Because now it becomes a little more about consistency with that group stage, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I just like the idea of no second lives.
Well, I'm assuming if they're doing the way DreamHack did it, there is second lives. It's just going to be in groups rather than in the final bracket.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, you can lose a game and have like take the other 2 and still move on like that. I'm curious though how they're going to go about it, because it's like, okay, are they going to do it in, because it's 12 teams, are they going to do 4 groups or 3 groups? If they do 3, it would be 4 teams each. And then I assume they would take the top 2 from each group. So groups would effectively eliminate half of the 12 teams. And then Whichever two teams, I guess, had the best results overall get a bye. I'm not sure.
That's
Because if you do 4, then it's 3 per group, and that just seems too little. But then I guess if you do it that way, then it's just whoever is the top for each group goes on. You just have the best 4.
I feel like 4 in a final bracket would not work well. I feel like it should be 8. Or even 6. I just feel like 4 is way too small.
See, that's what I thought too. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. It could just be like they're doing 2 groups of 6.
That would be weird.
You think? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's not... Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see how they go about that, though. But it's...
Yeah, well...
I'm excited to see them finally making a change, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Finally, we're getting a change to this formula. Like, thank God. Because we've been looking at the same setup over and over again. Now, if they could just fix RLRS, I'd be stoked.
Oh my God.
Like, I'd be fully on board. You fix RLRS, like, I'm in, man. I'm all in.
Baby steps, baby steps.
Oh, it's the Psyonix way.
It really is.
So, we're going to move on to the next bit of information. Rocket Pass 3 announced for release April 17th. If you want to go look at the first 70 tiers, they are posted already. Not too much to go over in this one. I mean, I love Rocket Pass. It's cool. I dig it. I get those tiers. What are your thoughts?
I don't really care for it too much. I'm not a huge Rocket Pass kind of person.
Oh. Do you even get it? Do you not get it?
No, I've bought it both times, but I don't.
Oh, okay. As long as you get it, I can't say anything to you.
I just throw my money at Psyonix and get
Take my money.
In
Take my money from my imaginary car.
That's yep. What's gonna happen with the Esports Shop too?
Do what?
That's what's gonna happen with the Esports Shop too. I'm saying it's only gonna be energy and Spacestation.
You say that, but then you're gonna be like, "Oh, I got to get some Dignitas," and then later on you're gonna be like, "Oh, but TSM." And then when RLRS items come in, you're gonna be like, "Oh, RBG, if you're still around, come on." I don't know. I like the color blue, so it's like I'm drawn to Cloud9 and Upper 90 logos. It's just how I am, man. It's how I am. Other news, we got Squidd joining the RLRS. That's super exciting.
Finally.
Finally, after all the work he's been putting in. I've like seen him trying so hard to just like put himself out there more and more and work his way into this, and so like I'm super happy for him. It just finally paying off, and I still like that Psyonix is to an extent watching the community scene and pulling the talent that they see emerging from it.
I just want to know when they're gonna bring in Ninja Rider. He's been here for so long.
I haven't actually like seen him cast in a long time though.
He casts for every Beyond tournament, and
he does. Okay, I mean since our tournament goes on at the same time, I haven't like looked.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't know.
He casted for Esports Arena last night as well.
Oh, okay. I'll have to go take a look at that. So I mean, man. Yeah, I'm waiting for that one too. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, he really has.
Well, and he also like casts for some like F1 esports racing game too, I think.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's like also a commentator for some other game. So like he does it professionally to an extent, but I know that like Rocket League is the one he really wants to get into. Like if you go look at his Twitch, or his Twitter profile, you can see like the other one that he does. I can't remember. Oh, it's like a racing thing though. That's all I know. Other piece of news, also with the RLRS, we have Halorin as the new host for RLRS. That one, Halorin, he's like the host for CRL, correct?
I have no idea. I don't watch CRL.
I think he's like the guy who is like the host for CRL.
I know he's done some stuff in League.
Oh, he's done stuff in League?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting.
He might be CRL too. I'm not.
Yeah,
Sure.
again, like CRL is one of those things that's like they always do it when we're doing our tournaments, so it's like I don't get to watch any of this
Yeah.
stuff. Like, so I don't. That's like one that's like I, as much as I would like to have an opinion on it, like I just don't because it's like I can't watch it. There's no time.
You're right. He was hosting CRL.
Okay, that's what I thought. And then the last piece of information on casters and stuff, we got Jorby joining the RLCS as a caster. That one's exciting. He's been working for that one since he got to RLRS. I know that was like a big thing for him.
I'm just mad Stacks didn't get it first. I love Stacks. His voice is so amazing.
People really like Stacks, but his like comment about about the RLRS plans, I know rubbed a few people the wrong way. I know he's still loved, but I know that one rubbed a couple people the wrong way. For those of you who don't know, Stacks was talking about, I'm not going to get the quote exactly right, and I'm not going to try to, but it was him basically saying that the way that RLRS is right now, it works well, it provides a lot of entertainment, and it's just a good, you're getting like great games throughout, but the problem that groups like us see is the fact of you have teams that lose and get dropped out against teams that maybe they shouldn't be. There's like the problems with seeding that you and me saw. There's a couple of issues with the way RLRS is currently, and we don't have the time to like really discuss that today. But I would love to in a future podcast with you.
Oh yeah, I feel like we could do a whole podcast just over.
Oh, totally, totally. You and me would shred that to pieces and talk about the types of fixes we think it could be. I mean, I'd be totally happy if they did a like deal like they're doing with LAN, where they do like group format and then like a group stage and then into a single elim to qualify. I'd be happy if they did that. Like, okay, the top, instead of the top 128, top 64. Go top 64, top 32. You guys go into a group stage, and then we watch you play. You know?
Yeah.
I think that'd be good, because then it's like, okay. I mean, they're trying to cram a bunch of stuff into one day anyway. I mean, this would at least force them to kind of give it an extra day. I mean, these teams are just beaten down so hard by the end of that day. That's like now you're in the aftermath of RLRS play-ins, there's just like a drought of like no teams participating in these community tournaments. But I mean, it is what it is. We'll definitely have a future podcast where we just like break that one down a bit more. Maybe on like a slower day, you and me will just like kind of rip that one to bits. And then of course RLRS begins this Friday. So if you haven't, if you didn't know that, I don't believe I've seen the schedule posted yet.
They haven't put it out. Okay. I don't know why they're waiting. But...
Okay, so the schedule for that will probably be posted. I'm willing to bet it'll be posted like tomorrow or like Friday morning.
If they posted the day of, that's ridiculous.
So we'll see on that one. And then let's go into the next segment of our podcast. So that was the news segment. We just had a lot of news to go through today. Typically it's not going to be that long, but because it was week 1 of RLCS League play, it was just a crap ton to get through. So don't worry, that's not going to always be that way. That should only be like an occasional thing. But like them having an update, RLCS week 1, announcements of LAN, just a lot of changes. Esports Shop, that one's just huge. So next segment is going to be the roster shuffle and team pickups. Right now, it is kind of like the off season for the bubble scene. So we're going to be going over those pickups. So I'll let you kind of take it from here, and you can kind of lead us through those, and I'll kind of run with commentary on you on that one.
Okay, well, we'll start off with Noxes leaving RBG, and then RBG picking up the Continuum roster.
That's huge.
What are your thoughts on that?
That was a big one. I'm happy for RBG. Happy that they are in RLRS now. They have that RLRS team. Like, that's huge for them. They've been super committed to the Rocket League scene. between like them putting on tournaments and stuff, and like they kept their same roster for 2 full seasons without any results. And for what I could see from like comments on Reddit and stuff, like I think randomizing them were willing to keep them again for like another season. But
Yeah,
they as the team, like the players made the decision of like, no, like this isn't working. We're gonna, if we don't make it, we're done. Like we're separating. And so like, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that one. I think if anybody was going to try and make the move up to RLRS and pick up a team, I would like for it to be someone who is as ingrained in the community as RBG is.
I'm a little confused on why they went with Continuum. I will say that.
Yeah, I don't know why they chose Continuum specifically. I did leave a question for Randomize on that. I know that they're doing like their podcast where they're going to answer questions and stuff like that. Like tomorrow or something, I think. So hopefully we'll be able to have more information on that. But I understand why they chose that one specifically. I mean, I think it's a good team. I just don't know why they chose them.
I'm not sold on them at all. I mean, they lost
Really?
they lost 4-2 to Avocado. I want to say it was the week before plans.
Okay.
And then in the Renegade finals, they dropped to Regalia in losers bracket and ended up going out, I think, 12th.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, I mean, who knows? We'll see how that turns out, though. I'm excited for RLRS to start. I can't wait to watch the teams that like we're so close to. I can't wait to watch how they turn out.
a little worried about U90, but we'll get on to that later. Next up, we have Scruff leaving Team Concept.
This one, I mean, you kind of know my thoughts. Team Concept, they haven't had much results for themselves. They do our tournaments all the time. They haven't gotten many results. I can't blame them for wanting to make a change.
I can't either, but I'm not sure that Scruff going is...
You think that was the wrong one to move? You think it should have been someone else? Because it's Dama, Scruff, and Smidget. So it's like
I would have kicked Smidget if I was Dama and Scruff. I feel like Dama's the powerhouse of that team.
Dama's great. Dama's a great player
Dama.
for that team. I think that he's pretty much the core for that team.
I think they're all great players, but I feel like...
I think so too. I just think they're lacking that oomph they need to really go to the next level, I should say.
Next up, we have Percy reforming Affinity with Chicken and Insolence. This is...
They did pretty well. They made this new team and then they came in and won like the next tournament we did.
They did. They beat the youngsters out. I want to say it was 3-0.
Yeah, it was.
And Astro left mid-grand finals.
Mid-grand finals. I mean, they were getting pretty clobbered. Like I kind of understood to an extent. Like Affinity was on it. So I'm excited to see what they do this season as they start going into more tournaments and stuff. I can't wait to see kind of what results they start putting out.
And then
that's exciting.
Yeah. And then we have the whole Lights Out org making roster moves. This is it's a handful. So
we'll just go over who's on Lights Out now. We'll just go over on who's on the tier 1 team for them.
AJ and Mikey both dropped off the team because they have real life issues going on, so they can't dedicate their time to Rocket League anymore.
Yeah, and Vandre, it was like the same thing, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So 3 solid players had to leave. That sucks.
So Kevpert brought in 2 of the Lone Wolves boys, Goalie and Toe.
Yeah, I mean they're playing pretty solid on Monday.
They were. I'm not too convinced because they got swept by Noxes in the RBG tournament, so I'm not too sold on them yet. But we'll see.
I think as they get some more practice under their belt, we'll start seeing a bit more from them. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they put out though.
Next up, we have Onset splitting up. This isn't a surprise.
Not surprising in the slightest. Like, I'm not shocked about this one. You're the 3rd seed for the RLRS plans, and you couldn't make it in. Same as what happened with Sway Esports. They were the number 1 seed. They couldn't even make it in, and it was just like, if you're a top 4 seed, like you have you're supposed to have pretty much like an easy ride in almost. Like, especially at least the 1 seed, you really should have an easy ride in.
Yeah, the 1 seed was.
I mean, 3, 4. I'm pretty wrong on that, but if you're the number 1 seed, you got an easy ride.
Yeah.
If you're truly the number 1 seed, you got an easy ride.
Yeah, I agree with that. Next up, we have Poggers splitting up.
Who's on that team?
Not Spartan Lincoln and Soccer Sean. I don't think you've actually casted their
I don't think
games.
I've cast them, but they have been in our tournaments. I don't think they put up anything significant though. If I haven't ended up casting them, they haven't made it far enough in.
They definitely have some good results.
With us?
Not with us.
Okay.
No, not with us. I don't think they've made it past quarters with us.
Gotcha.
But in other tournaments, they've put up some good results. And that's actually all we have for the roster shuffle.
Okay.
And then DreamHack qualifiers are this Sunday. We have a few interesting rosters from there. We have the old OOF team coming in the name Under Momentum, which is Jordan, Magic Bear, and Messi.
I'm excited about that team. That's gonna be a good team.
I am too. I was really sad
Magic Bear and Jordan are monsters.
God, and I can't wait.
I'm excited for that one. That's like I'll be keeping an eye on the DreamHack qualifiers.
I definitely will be too.
I'm so sad I can't go.
Next up, we have Upper 90 playing with First Killer instead of Rodoko. This might just be because Rodoko can't make it, or he just hasn't signed up yet.
For the DreamHack qualifiers, they're playing with First Killer.
They're playing with First Killer.
Okay, I knew he was a part of Upper 90, but he's just been like their one's powerhouse.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure about that.
Okay, that's interesting. I'll
Next
be
up, we have
keeping an eye on that one.
Noxes, Turnturo, and Wondamite playing under the team name Juiced.
Those copycats.
Well, I mean, Turnturo was on Juice.
Oh, he was? Okay, never mind then.
He was.
I retract that statement.
We just got done talking about this roster, but Team Concept, the old roster of Scruff, Dom, and Smidget, are playing together again.
Yeah, they probably already signed up for that and can't get the team broken up now with the new player or anything, so they're just going to follow through with that.
I mean, they could. Registration's still open for another 2 days.
Really?
I think it's more just because I don't think they have any better options.
Yeah, it's probably just they haven't had time to really practice with anyone else, that they just wouldn't feel confident making a switch into this. Like, they're like, if anything, we'll try with you and just kind of hope it works out. So I'll be interested to see how that goes. I'll be keeping an eye on that one.
It'll definitely be interesting.
And that's this Saturday, right?
This Sunday.
Sunday is when the DreamHack qualifiers. So if you guys are watching this Sunday, DreamHack qualifiers for DreamHack Dallas begin. So keep your eyes on that. If you're not watching RLCS. But I mean, yeah. Just open it in another browser.
In the day.
Okay, so that's pretty much everything we got for the roster shuffle, team pickups, and then any interesting teams coming around for tournaments. This next section that we would do is viewer mail. This is going to be dedicated to going over any topics or questions you guys give us over on the RL Esports subreddit. We'll be looking to do a post every Tuesday before the podcast to kind of call for questions and stuff. So be on the lookout for that when we post it. We don't have any questions or topics this time. Nobody actually submitted anything. We got a lot of great comments saying like, hey, thanks for doing this. Like, I'm excited to listen to it. But no one actually asked us a question. So we didn't get anything on that this time around. We have a couple of minutes left. We're just going to do this really quickly, you and me, okay?
All right.
RLRS predictions for the season.
Oh, God. Okay.
What do you think the final standing is going to be?
I have Dudes coming first.
Okay.
Birds and the Bees second.
Okay.
Plot Twist third.
Okay.
Peeps fourth.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Afterthought fifth.
Okay.
Embers sixth.
Poor Embers. I'm still sad about that for them. I really pray to God it works for them.
I do too. Upper 97th.
Ah.
And then RBG 8th.
It hurts to hear you say it because, like, I want Upper 90 to be one of those top 4 teams. I want Upper 90 to be one of those top 4 teams.
I originally had Upper 90 in my top 4, but they lost to a 1,500 team.
I know.
On Monday.
I know. But it was a best of 3. Like, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. It sucks though, because that's one of the problems that I also have with RLRS currently is you're effectively eliminating half of an entire group. Like, you're eliminating half of an entire league. Like, and the problem is too is like if 2 of the teams who are in RLRS right now get promoted, most likely the 2 teams dropping down as of late, it seems, at least for North America, is they're going to break up and suddenly we're going to have 6 open spots again. We had that for 2 seasons in a row now of 6 spots open.
I'm in between on the 4. I like it because for anyone that follows the bubble scene knows that there's an incredible amount of depth to it.
Oh, there's a huge amount of depth. My fix would be to expand it to 12 teams and then continue doing 4 in, 4 out.
I say either expand it to 12 teams or just make another below RLRS.
Yeah, maybe. Right. Just kind of stabilize. Like, I think RLRS just needs to be stabilized. It's too volatile right now. But going back over to it, my predictions. Oof. Okay, I don't have the team names in front of me, so I'm going to try my best to make sure I don't butcher this. So, top. You said the dudes, right?
I had the dudes as my 1.
Man. See, I'm more inclined to put the birds and the bees up there.
Yeah,
I'm more inclined for it to be something like birds and the bees and Afterthought is like the top 2. Because Afterthought? They killed it, man. They did great in their games. You don't think so? I thought they were fantastic.
I could see them coming bottom 2.
Bottom 2?
I could see them coming
Okay, we'll see about
I have
that.
them at 5th, but
so I'm thinking like top 4. I'll just the teams I think that are going to stay. Afterthought, Birds and the Bees. Man, after those 2, I start thinking I'm like, okay, Plot Twist. I think Plot Twist are a good team. It's a solid roster.
Plot Twist is a really good team.
And then it'd be between the Peeps and the Dudes. I think the Peeps maybe.
Really?
The Dudes dropped to the lower bracket. They only qualified through losers. So I'm not putting as much stock in them based on their qualification.
Yeah.
I mean, they dropped to the Birds and the Bees like solidly. It was like 3-1.
Oh yeah, but it's Birds and the Bees.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd put those as the top 4, and then Embers, Upper 90, RBG, and probably the Dudes.
Who would you have here as your bottom 2?
I have to agree with you. I think it's possibility of Upper 90 and RBG. I want those 2 teams to stay. I really do. But do too. RLRS is stacked this season. Like really. The amateur scene has gotten so deep that like RLRS like from here on out is just going to be packed. And that's why I wish they would expand teams for RLCS and RLRS so that you could have more turnover, or like not turnover, but so you can have a chance for these great teams that are down here to really make that push upwards. Because I think they've got a lot to offer. Like it's gotten crazy. So
yeah, it really has.
But so that is going to be it for today. Because we didn't have viewer mail, we just kind of ran with our own little topic there. But that is going to be it for our episode today. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Once again, please consider following us here on Twitch and all that jazz. We'll be uploading this episode to YouTube and SoundCloud. And we'll also be dropping our notes, our show notes that we have here. So if you want to follow links on anything, kind of read up on more stuff, you totally can. And then, so if you miss it, YouTube and SoundCloud are where we'll post this so that you can catch it later on. You don't have to watch it live if you aren't able to or just don't feel like it. And then we'll be doing that for every episode moving forward. It's not just going to be for this one. We'll be back on Monday with Launchpad number 19, which is our weekly 3v3 tournament for those of you who are new with us. And then, I mean, you got anything else you want to add before we close out?
Nope.
Cool. Great first show. It's been awesome. This has been Around the Scene presented by Playing with Rockets. I'm Ryan, that's Eldino, and it has been our pleasure to have you with us today. Take care and enjoy the rest of your evening. Peace out.